Well, hello friends, David Valentin here again. Welcome back to the channel. On this video, I picked 5 moments of Orlando City history in USL or MLS that either created legends out of some of the players involved or are moments that are deeply remembered by Orlando City fans. The USL moment may be a little bit obscure for some of you that joined the club in the MLS era. That moment happened in the Open Cup. As a matter of fact, there's 2 moments in this video that come from that competition that has, in my opinion, one of my favorites because anything can really happen. It is the goal of striker Long Tan in 2013. Orlando City went to play Sporting Kansas City at Kansas City. And at the time, there was an affiliation with Orlando City. That's the affiliation that brought that year Don Dwyer to Orlando. So this was little brother fighting against big brother. And everyone thought that Sporting Kansas City was going to win that game. And the one goal in the game happened very early on, and it was by Long Tan, propelling Orlando City to the next stage. Really, let everybody know who Orlando City was. Until this point, Orlando City and the USL were very obscure to most of the football or soccer fandom in the United States. And rightfully so. MLS had been the one league that had survived uh, the longest time, and all the leagues below that had come and gone. So when when the Open Cup will come around, and these leagues will basically have their teams there, MLS fans will be like, okay, who cares? They might not be here next year. So we have that. The other goals that you guys gonna go see, and at this point, I don't know how I'm gonna assemble them. But you're gonna see Pedro Rivero scoring a goal against Columbus Crew, that, in my opinion, was a fantastic goal. In his celebration, he was taken a picture of him was taken midair, like fist bumping. One of my favorite pictures throughout the years of Orlando City players, because it's just a raw excitement. Pedro was a fantastic player, and unfortunately, back injuries and the change of regime propelled him out of not only the club but the league. And I think it was a great injustice. A player like that that has that much heart and devotion to what he does is something that deserves to be remembered. And one of the things about Pedro was that Pedro will actually remain in the Orlando City area Orlando area, I should say, for a few years after that. And he used to go to Orlando City games just as a fan. As far as I know, with Pedro, he is living with his wife in Sweden, where she's from. She's also a football player who played college in the United States. I think that's how they met. And that's the last thing I heard of him. With Long Tan, I know he went back to China after the 2013 season, and he was very successful in the first division there. I haven't heard really much about him. He should be in his mid-30s at this point, so I'm assuming that he's probably retired. Then we're going to see Kaká with that incredible at the death free kick against Seattle in 2017. We're going to see, obviously, the Adam Greenwich against New York City in that incredible Open Cup run off the wall penalty shootout. So that's 1, 2, 3. And we're also going to go see Adrian Winter against Sporting Kansas City, which was an incredible game. This is the game that propelled Orlando City on a playoff run. Orlando City won 6 out of their 7 games that season, and missing playoffs by 5 points, which, to be honest with you, was a disappointment. Maybe if we would have caught fire a little earlier, would have been able to play, pull it off. But we finished seventh. In today's rules, that would have been a playoff spot. So who knows what would have happened had the league had seven spots instead of six as it was back then. But anyways, like I always say on these videos, these are just my opinions, my choices, my recollections of what I thought was important. There might be a ton of them out there that I have missed. And To be honest with you, to dig these great moments, it gets tougher and tougher as the years go by. And remember, we played 34 games per season, plus Open Cup, plus friendlies and all that type of stuff, and it gets very difficult to like dig into the file. So most likely, probably I'm gonna stop it here. But I just wanted to produce content for the Orlando City faithful. So with that said, let's go see the videos that I just described. All right, my friends. So this is Orlando City against Sporting Kansas City 2013 Open Cup, a game that nobody saw Orlando City winning. But Orlando City shut the mouths of the so-called experts by squeaking a goal against Sporting Kansas City. This time, Sporting Kansas City had an affiliation with Orlando City. Orlando City, it was sort of a farm team for Sporting. This is how Dom Dwyer that year ends up in Orlando. Or obviously, because of the loan, Dom Dwyer couldn't play on this game. Fun fact, Long Tan, the scorer of this goal, will get red carded before the championship game of that year, and that forced the hand of Orlando City to go and recall Dom Dwyer, ask a favor, huge favor from Sporting Kansas City, who had recalled this guy that was on fire. So there's Long Tan with his goal. Basically, an incredible cold shower for MLS fans and Sporting Kansas City. Nobody really expected this team that nobody had ever heard of, and from a league that nobody knew if it was going to survive any longer. But USL not only has contributed with players and teams to MLS in the recent years, but has been a great place for American players to develop. So here we have the second game of MLS history for Orlando City. This was against Houston, first away game in MLS history, and this was the first win as well. And it happened in such a Orlando City way, with an own goal, thanks to the pressure that Pedro Rivero pressed on the goalkeeper for Houston. In this game, full house for Houston. This was in the early days when Kaká was basically roaming circus, really. Everywhere Orlando City was playing away with Kaká, the stadiums were full. Kaká was the beginning of the era where the super talents were coming to MLS. Obviously, David Beckham ushered the modern era of MLS, but he was like a lone wolf. With Kaká came David Villa, came Pirlo, and a bunch of other players that followed, and that did not do anything for the this moniker, this myth that we're a retirement league. And Kaká in 2015 was unstoppable. Kaká did everything. Kaká basically carried Orlando City everywhere. I think that's basically what destroyed his body in the next two seasons. Had Kaká had the type of players that Orlando City has now, it would have been a different story. This man was incredible. And unfortunately, the talent around him did not match his. And I think that Kaká should have deserved better in his time in Orlando City. But when he has been asked about this, he's just happy that he contributed to basically put the foundation of what Orlando City is today. No regrets, and I guess no regrets from a man that has won it all. That really doesn't need anything else. Doesn't need any type of adulation when you have been such a great player throughout your career. This was part of the Viernes de Fútbol on Univision, the Spanish network here in the United States. One of my favorites. There's something about Spanish announcers that I don't know, maybe because I'm Hispanic, but it just makes the game so much sweeter. The Anglos, with the exception of a few British announcers that we have here in the United States, they just don't give the same salt and pepper to the game like the Spanish announcers. I don't know what it is. So this is basically at the end of the game. There goes Pedro Rivero putting pressure. This was a complete surprise. You can see how it ended up being own goal. Orlando City will have to actually wait till its fourth game in the league to have a goal in the run of play. And as for a fan of Orlando City in the USL era, this was super frustrating to see Orlando City basically getting a goal from stoppage, in a stoppage free kick. This morbid goal, I don't think I have seen one since. And then obviously not being able to score after that. All right, so here we have Orlando City against Sporting Kansas City. First time the two teams are playing against each other in MLS. This is Adrian Winter. The legend of Adrian Winter was born with an assist from that beautiful left kick of Luke Bowden, Orlando City legend. This until 2018 was the fastest goal in Orlando City history. That record now resides on the boot of Chris Mueller against New England. And this was a game that set up that run, that 6-game unbeaten run, pushing towards playoffs. We almost did it. That would have been impressive. And also, fun fact, this was the least attended game that season. It was a Sunday evening, which makes it hard for a lot of people, especially if you are out of the area and you have to work the following day. This was 22,000 people in attendance. The average had been 43. And let me tell you something, with 25,500 seats in Exploria, 43,000 it's incredible. 22 will basically be considered a full house now at Exploria, and obviously bad seasons had taken away a lot of that fan base, or at least the intention of those fans to pay money to go see the team live. But winning fixes everything, as they say, and I'm pretty sure that once we go back to normal, that Exploria is going to be a packed house. Definitely deserved to be with how the team performed in 2020. And there you go. That's another goal for Orlando City. This was Brian Roaches, who, since leaving MLS in Orlando City, has been making his name in Portugal's first division. And that crocodile celebration was iconic. Was an iconic moment in Orlando City history. Certainly, people remember it. A lot of these players have moved on from the club, so it's fun to see them again in purple, playing together, and obviously to see our stadium full like that. This is in the seasons before the wall. Adrian Winter there with the second goal. That was insanity. And one of the things that also was important in this game was the return of Dom Dwyer, to the Citrus Bowl, where he set up the place on fire, won a championship for Orlando City. So the fans were super excited to see him. Of of course, he was with the bad guys, quote unquote, in this game. And the most bizarre thing happened here. He's gonna get red carded for supposedly hitting the face of David Mateos. David Mateos was a trash player, one that betrayed this club, one that has gone into obscurity. Last time I heard from him, he was playing second division in Israel and being really bad at it. And as you can see, he never got hit in the face. And Sporting Kansas City goes down a man. And Don Dwyer was furious. And I really felt bad for him, to be honest with you, because we really had a lot of admiration for him. This game was against Columbus Crew. This is when we were fighting in 2015 to get a spot in the playoffs. We were in the hunt. It was us and Montreal who was going to take that last spot. Montreal brought in Didier Drogba, and obviously they won that battle. He got them the points they needed, and they managed to get to the playoffs. And I believe they have not made the playoffs since. So that tells you the impact that this player had with them. And Luke Bowden, my goodness, Luke Bowden was such a great player. I think he was let go from Orlando City unjust. It was unjust. Period. Here is the goal by Pedro Rivero. I saw this live. This place wanted to fall down. The attendance that day was 47,000. 47,000 people witnessed this man basically kick a golazo. And if you guys watch when he runs and jumps in the air, that moment actually was captured in a picture. You can Google it, and it's sadly it was never made into a poster. I would have bought the heck out of that. This is Orlando City, 2016 at Seattle. Seattle has been a bogey team for Orlando City. We usually play them on a Wednesday when we're playing the weekend before and the weekend after, and we are playing them at home. And it's not our reverse version of Orlando City, and we always get defeated. In all the years against this team, we have never managed to defeat them. The best we have done was this game where we tied it, thanks to the brilliance of Kaká. But as you can see, Orlando City fought tooth and nail to get the goal. Just did not happen. Also, the quality of their goalkeeper is what sets this game apart. I have a lot of affection for Joe Bendick, but he has some deficiencies that at times cost us games. And then in 2018, he completely went downhill. I do not know what happened. Sometimes we have a bad time at the wrong time. It was an awful season. He was benched, and the number 2 and number 3 keeper ended up playing for him. That to me sealed his time in Orlando. And after Orlando, he went to Columbus. Then he went to Philadelphia. I think he's still there, but nonetheless, he was not a starter for sure. Last time I saw him play, he came to Orlando with Columbus as a starter, and he got burned. Sometimes being just nice is not enough. You have to have talent, and you have to come to a team and show that talent. Unfortunately for Joe, that wasn't it. So in this game, one of the things I dislike now is that surface. That surface, the artificial surface, is not my favorite. I think it takes away from the game of football itself. But some teams play on it, and to be honest with you, those are my least favorite games, and that's Seattle, Atlanta, New York City. Definitely not my favorite places to go visit as an away team because of the artificial surface. And when Charlotte comes into the league, it's also going to be artificial surface. So basically, as you can see, Orlando tried everything possible to win this game or to score. It was just wasn't in the cards. And then at the end of the game, basically at the death, we get a foul from the most unlikely of players, and this was Victor PC Gyro. He gets fouled on the edge of the box, and Kaká is to take the shot, and he finds the head of the English Swiss man. Um, and let me think of his name right now. I can't. Scott Sutter. Oh my goodness, Scotty! How could I forget your name? Scott Sutter. There. Just basically when they interview Scott Sutter, hey, how did you know this was gonna happen? He just said, hey, I just put my head there, I crossed my eyes, and the ball was in. And this was a cold shower for Seattle. Definitely, I believe this is 2016. Yeah, I believe 2016 they went on to no, who won the championship that year? Who knows? Who cares? So this is the running of the wall. I was there. This was the end of the Open Cup game against New York City. Um, the New York City chose that side. Basically, half of the stadium was closed to the public. Open Cups games are not well attended, especially during the week. And the New York City said, "Hey, we're gonna kick that way because our fans are there." And the people on the wall was like, "No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna run over there. We're gonna take over." Security was overpowered. Boom, and we are there. And as you can see, Adam Greenwich making some incredible stops that set the fans into a frenzy. I was sitting actually at midfield, and when I saw people running, I said, I can be part of history or I can witness it. And I ran over there, so I'm behind goal, just about to the goalkeeper's left, a little far off there. And I got to see my team win. The New York City fans were on top of us. They were inviting us to fight. Some were spitting on us. They were super furious, and I gave it to them. I trust me, I'm a pain in their ear when it comes to this type of things. New York City has always felt that they were a better team, and they always get the short end of the stick against Orlando City. Because the funny thing is, the following year they were gonna be kicked out of the playoffs in the same manner, or even worse if you ask somebody. So Adam Greenwich, Orlando City legend, remembered in this club with a lot of affection. Unfortunately, he went to play with the Sacramento Republic in the USL in 2020, and he had a knee injury that shut down his season. Don't know where he's gonna be playing next year or 2021. I wish him the best. He's a fantastic human being, very nice guy, with a lot of talent, and unfortunately, he was outplayed the following game against Atlanta. I felt that since Atlanta was going with their starting lineup, we should have done the same. Orlando City, out of loyalty, started Greenwich. Looking back, probably was a mistake. Orlando City fell 2-0 against Atlanta. Atlanta went on to win the Open Cup. Atlanta definitely had a easier path to the Open Cup championship, playing two teams, Columbus, Cincinnati, that were really not up to par, and a USL team in a. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you again for joining me. I can be found on Twitter at Florida_man76 and on Instagram at 407 Root Boy. Reminding everybody, I have been producing a Spanish language podcast, Tiro de Esquina, that can be found on any application where you usually consume your podcast. With that said, hope to see you guys on the next video. Vamos, Orlando!